Hi, I'm Emma Stars. Ballymun Lights Up is a great new project and Pat is here to show you how it works.
So, this is Ballymun Lights Up. This year we can't have any fireworks, so we're going to do a little display that you can put in your window. And on Halloween at 7 o'clock, everyone is to switch on the lights in the room that these are in. And people can see them. People can, instead of trick-or-treating, people can just look out their window and see them, or maybe walk down the street and discover them all. So what we need is, if you didn't get it packed from your school, you need tissue paper, orange tissue paper, or yellow maybe. Black paper or card, a glue stick and a scissors, and maybe if you have it and you can find it, a pencil. So the first thing I'm going to show you how to do is how to make a skull, right? So you need something round depending on the size of the skull, and I have this witch's hat, which is perfect. And you just put it near the top of the page and you draw a circle around it. I'm not going to let that slip, but you do. And then you draw a kind of a rectangle, doesn't have to be perfect, on the bottom of it. And you can't see that because it's in pencil on black paper, but I'm going to cut it out now. And depending on the size of the skull you want, you just get a smaller circle to draw around. Like you could use a plate for a bigger one, or you could use a mug for a smaller one. And if you're not confident drawing a rectangle, you could just get a book or something that's rectangular shaped. So there's our skull shape with a big long jaw. And then we are going to fold that up like that. Just fold that rectangle in half and cut little lines in it like this. For the teeth. And again, you can measure these out if you want. I don't, because I like them to look kind of uneven. And while it's still folded up, we'll just cut across. Don't cut all the way across, just cut the teeth out, the bottom of the teeth, and it'll be like that. And then we're going to fold the circle in half, and we're going to tear it out two. You could draw small circles on this, but I'm just tearing them out. And I hope that it works. They'll be uneven, but I don't mind that. So there is, oh yeah. We'll tear another bit out of there. And then the last thing we have to do to make our skull is we will draw a little triangle, underneath those two circles. And this time we can fold that in half and just use the scissors to cut that out. And there's our skull. And then you just take our sheet of tissue paper and you just find your glue. And you don't have to put loads of glue on this. Put the glue on the black card, not on the tissue paper, because it might tear when you're rubbing it on. You just really have to put one piece of glue on and then stick that down. And when that's up in your window, you can put it either way. If you put it in your window like this, facing out, people would see it during the daytime. But if you put it like that, people would still see it when the light comes on. You see it against the white. You can imagine that. We'll take another shot of that later. And if you want, out of your scrap bits of paper, which you'll have loads of, you can put lines on it. You can cut out 2 little horns and put them on. You can cut out eyeballs or tear them out and just stick them on. And again, you don't need loads of glue. You just a bit of glue to stick them on. You can see that's not glued on at all there. So that's the skull. So a second thing, it's a little bit different, is a pumpkin. Just put them there. And how we're going to make the pumpkin is, instead of cutting out a big black pumpkin, we're going to cut out a silhouette. And the way we're going to do that is we're just going to, this is the piece of paper that I cut the skull out of. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get the scissors and cut lines of paper with the scissors in a curve. And you can see I'm just doing this freehand because we can just make it up. We're going to use these lines for the outline of the pumpkin. And as you can see, you don't have to be too exact. And you just glue them on down until you have the shape of a pumpkin. And for all these things, you can just find stuff on the internet, picture of a pumpkin, or you might have other Halloween decorations at home. So here I have this glued. There's our outline of the pumpkin. I'll put that down like that. And when you're sticking on these bits of paper, the best thing to do is to put it down on the table and just run the glue stick along it. And these are some pumpkins. You can see the lines on them. See these lines here on the pumpkin? So these are to represent them. And you only need to put 1 or 2 of those on. And yeah. So all I've done for the eyes is I've just cut or torn out triangles. Are they facing up or down? Like that. And I've torn out this hole here to represent the eye. Done the same. Turn that into a more triangular shape. And here's another. I don't know what you call these, ribs maybe. And then we need, what do we need? A mouth. So what I'm going to do for the mouth is I am just going to tear out bits of paper to represent the teeth. Or the gaps between the teeth, I'm not sure. And I'm just going to stick them across. These are all scraps from pieces I was doing earlier. And I suppose we have to put a triangle in for the nose as well. Now you can make these as elaborate as you like. You could spend hours on these. I'm just doing them quickly for this video. You can use the scissors for these if you want. I just like tearing paper. Why did the skeleton not go to the Halloween party? Because he had nobody to go with. That's my only Halloween joke. You'd be glad to hear. Oh, yeah. So now we need a triangle for the nose. Again, you don't need loads of glue on these, just a bit. And this bit that's just here, let's use that for the stalk of the pumpkin. There. And that's our pumpkin. Now, another Halloween thing, bats. Now, I can't really teach you how to draw a bat on video, but I'll give it a go. You can always just print out a picture of a bat and trace it on. Just go over it real hard and it'll leave a mark on the black paper. What I'm going to do is, how do you draw a bat? Start with the, let me draw it this way. I'm going to start in the middle, and I'm actually only going to draw half a bat. So the bat's ear, and then the wing is kind of big curved line, and then 3 smaller curves like that. Should have drawn it on white paper, but anyway, you'll see now when I cut it out. What I'm going to do with the half a bat is I'm going to fold it in half. And I'm going to put it out. And the idea of this is that you make loads of these, all different sizes. And then you can stick them all on like a big flock. Is flock the right word? Flock of bats. And the reason I fold it in half is because I want the 2 sides to be exactly the same. There we are. There's our bat. And the idea is that you make loads of them, all different sizes. And what you could do is you could glue these together before you put them on the paper. Just put a tiny bit of glue on the edge of one of the wings, and then get another one, put a bit on that one's tail and stick it onto the edge of that wing. So it'll be like, if we did loads of these, it would be like a flight of bats. And then you get your tissue paper, tidy up everything, just shove it all across there. And then you put glue. You don't have to glue all the edges or anything. Just a lot of glue on the big bat and then just spots of glue on the small bats. And put them at an angle on the tissue paper. I think everything looks better at an angle. So these are our bats, and you can put as many as you like on. Loads of them. Now I have loads, but I'm going to keep them for the next thing, which is a spooky haunted house or castle. And the way we do that is with our paper, we just cut out rectangles. But they're not on rectangles. Are they rectangles if they're not all the same angle at the corners? I don't know. You'll have to ask your teacher or your mom or dad. Just irregular rectangles. And then we're just going to fold them in half. And not really even in half, just fold them. And cut out another rectangle out of the middle. So you end up with that. And you can cut a piece out of the long side of the piece you took out. Just put a piece of glue on either end. And what we're making then is the window. Now, you need a long piece to go down, so put a line out. And again, I'm not measuring that. I'm just using my head. So So then you end up with something like that. Here's just a rectangle that was part of something else, and I'm going to cut another window out of the middle of that. And here's the trick: when you're cutting things with the scissors, don't start cutting and moving the scissors around. Just keep the scissors in the same place and move the paper. So you have less chance of making a mistake or having an accident. So there's our rectangle there with that. So you need maybe 3 irregular rectangles or oblong shapes with the windows put in them. And you need a bigger one then for the bottom, but I have one that I made earlier. Where is it? Here it is. So you need a bigger one for the bottom, and then you would glue these. You could use that even for the bottom one, couldn't you? And then you just stick them. Bit of glue in the corner, stick it together, stick them at an angle, and stick a third one on this side, and then you would cut out triangles for the roof. And then you can see I've started here with my little bat. So what I'm going to do is, if I can find them, I'm going to stick on loads more bats. Or you could make a little skull and stick it in the window. And you can do the same thing we did earlier. You can make the bats stick together like this. And you get your sheet of orange tissue paper. This is actually a different kind of paper. It's crepe paper. It doesn't work as well as tissue paper, but it doesn't cut nicely. So, and that's a bit too small. But anyway, I'll do it like that at an angle again. And I'll just stick it there. And there. And it's up to you to decide which is the front. I mean, there's no real front or back to these. It's just which way it looks nice on the page. So glue on the top and the bottom, and maybe on the outside bat on each side. And if we have another bat, yeah, there's another bat. We can just stick them in different spaces. So that's it. We have a haunted house. Actually, that looks nice. I don't know if you can see it. No, you can't see it because the light's behind it, but we'll put the light behind it that side because it makes it look as if it's moving. Yeah, we have our haunted house. We have our bats. Now imagine what that would look like if you took the time and made 20 bats of all different sizes, or maybe just glued 4 or 5 sheets of the tissue paper together and made a huge picture. And here is our pumpkin. I don't know, could you add bats onto that, or a skull or something? You could do anything you wanted. You could spell out different things. There's all things you can print out from the internet, pumpkin designs. So you could do it like that. And oh yeah, the other one is here. 2 skulls that we made. So yeah, there's our skull with the horns and lines coming out of it. And you could do what you wanted on that as well. Add on different things. It's up to you. The possibilities are endless. And then at 7 o'clock on Halloween, you have these in your window. You can put them up ahead of time. Just the way you put them up is you just put a little dab of glue in the corners and stick them on, and that cleans up. When you're taking them off, it just comes off and you just scrape them off or scrub them off. And if they don't come off, I'll come round to your house and scrub them off. No, I won't. And that's it. Have a great Halloween.